The middle years of marriage can feel like standing in the middle of a storm. You've got kids growing, you've got careers shifting, your identity might be changing in terms of what's going on in your world, pressure coming from every direction, mortgages to pay. And if you felt more like your flatmates than partners, or you're noticing like a slow emotional drift in your marriage, you are not alone. Here's the surprising truth from two of us that are 20 years married almost. These years don't have to pull you apart. They can actually bring you closer than ever. Stay with us, because in this episode, we're breaking down exactly how couples stay connected through big life changes. And man, we have done some big life changes in our middle years and we're closer for it. So stay tuned. If you've ever found yourself thinking, why do we keep having the same argument? Or why does connection feel harder than it used to? You're not alone. Welcome to Marriage, Intimacy and Healing with Andrew and Lara.
We're a husband and wife team, blending science-based coaching and clinical nervous system insight to help couples understand what's really happening underneath conflict, distance, and emotional shutdown.
I'm Lara. I'm an ICF PCC certified coach and educator.
And I'm Andrew, a licensed physical therapist specializing in body, mind, heart integration with extensive experience helping high-performing individuals navigate stress, communication, and emotional regulation.
Together, we help you recognize the patterns that pull you apart and offer practical, grounded shifts that bring you back into connection. Let's dive into today's episode. A season where life was really heavy for us wasn't long ago. We were in our middle years of marriage. Those of you who are maybe newer, stay tuned, because there's stuff in here that forewarned is, what is it? Pre-warned is forewarned. When we moved to the US, one of the hardest things we went through during this season is I had two little kids, and Andrew needed to fly back from the US to Australia to get a visa sorted so that we could stay in the country. I had just moved from California to Georgia, and I had two kids. I didn't have a house in Georgia. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any community or family, and two small children. It was summer break. They weren't going to school. It was piping hot weather, and we were staying in a one-bedroom basement flat, and then Andrew had to fly and leave me in that situation and go to Australia to get our visas. It was honestly one of the most traumatic experiences of my married life, having to carry that, because it was exhausting, and I had children that didn't have anyone to play with. I didn't know what to do all day, and Andrew was on a different schedule, literally sleeping when I was awake, because Australia is complete opposite time zones. So there was no conflict. It was just distance, and it was just super, super stressful. The emotional tone was that I was stretched thin. I was beyond stretched thin, and I missed being able to talk to Andrew, one, in person, and two, within the time zone of my day when I was awake with the children. And it was hard. And I think you were gone all up over 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 3 weeks waiting for all the things to go through.
Yeah.
And there was a whole range of things right before that. I had moved earlier than the family to start work in part of the USA, and there was a time difference to where she was with the kids, where she was finishing some works over there. So there was this...
We'd had 6 weeks apart before that as Andrew moved to Georgia as well.
Yeah, there was compounding things going on.
Oh, it's so compounding. And by this point, like, our bodies are in major fight, flight, just trying to keep our head above water, get somewhere to stay, tick all the boxes, get the immigration stuff going.
Yeah, I really just wanted to fix the problem. I really wanted to... You know, I couldn't say sorry enough to not being there in person. I wanted to.
Even though it was out of his control.
It's out of my control. We had to do this situation to take the work and get on with it. So we understand this might explain something you've been through yourself, where it's not under your control, and you can't say sorry enough, or you just feel stretched thin, and there's a lot of things on your shoulders there. And these are not easy things to deal with.
So we say this to say, for you, it might be that you've moved house recently, or you've changed careers recently, or you've been looking for a new school, and you've had to move into a different area. What we're describing is massive and beyond massive. To give you an example of what stress can do in terms of how do you stay connected in those middle years through these big life changes, I mean, ours was one, we didn't have to. We could have stayed in Australia, but this happened in a season where it was probably, they talk about moving house, we moved country, having children, all of these things, having to reestablish life in these middle years of marriage. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, and it could have torn us apart, that the stress we were under. So we share this with you because I know that in this season of life, there's all kinds of things depending on what you're going through with schools and jobs and careers, and there's just pressure coming from every direction. I said to Andrew, I think yesterday, I missed the days and it was just you and I living our lives in London. We were there for nearly 8 years, jumping around, watching shows, coming home when we wanted, staying up all weekend. It was just him and I, but we didn't have the pressures that we have now. And I have seen a couple so in love. I could name numerous friends of mine and family who got married, so in love, and it's just the two of you. Then a child comes along, a mortgage comes along, schooling comes along, issues with your child for whatever reason. They might have developmental or learning things. A child could be born with some sort of disability. There could be mental health issues. I mean, the list is, and it goes on and on and on, adding stress to your marriage.
And the narrative can be, see, life does that to them. Or, when they get through that honeymoon, then life's going to hit them and they're going to find it's as hard as all of us. And so narrative is that it's going to get worse. But we're saying, no, it doesn't have to get worse. We just need ways to manage it, ways to
connect together and stay a team through this stress. So what's going on in the body?
Yeah, what's going on? Let's talk about for you. Yeah. What was going on in your body in those times, if you remember?
I was in fight, flight. I was in overload, overwhelm. My body, my emotions, my heart, everything was just in a place of complete meltdown. It was too much for my nervous system, which means too much for me to handle on my own. And with the children, I was physically tired. I was emotionally tired. I was psychologically tired. And it felt like I was just battling one thing after another.
I felt neck tight. Felt this shallow breath thing I normally get. I felt this like pressure up in my sinuses head, but I wasn't, there wasn't a physical issue with my sinuses, but I could feel that this inability to switch off and just take my breath fully out. It's like my body was really fighting that sense of relax. And I was constantly thinking of what else can I do? Have I done everything? I was thinking about a to-do list that I could never get done, but I couldn't actually write it down. It was a really crazy time.
So depleted. And ultimately, you just have less energy to connect with each other because you are in some sort of survival mode. And this is just so common. The middle years feel hard because there's multiple transitions at once. And honestly, some of you are like, I'm not even in my middle years and this is going on. That's real because I can absolutely name couples that this is real for right now. There's less time for connection. There's identity shifts. And what I mean by that is, who am I becoming? And who was I when I got married? And who am I now? And what am I discovering about myself? I have just seen recently a friend of mine share with me and some of her friends that she's only just now in her 50s, in her marriage, working out, who am I in this new season now that I've sold my business and I've started this new thing, and who am I in this and what do I need? And I've always been a people pleaser, and still discovering layers of yourself that you didn't know you were operating out of for years, and your emotional energy is lower. And midlife research says is the biggest satisfaction dip because of stress. Doesn't that just astound you? Like the biggest satisfaction dip. And this is the time that we decide we're going to move countries. And put more stress on our middle years, which could be called insanity, but it's all worked out. We landed on our feet. It's like the cat with 9 lives. But we battled hard and we stayed a team. And that's important. People need more connection during big transitions, not less, research says. Chronic stress lowers emotional availability and slows your recovery when you're constantly in that chronic stress, whether it's because maybe a spouse is unwell or a child has something, whatever it is. But your emotional availability, you will find, is so depleted, and that is so hard to deal with. So it's not that love is gone. It's not that what you had in your marriage is gone. It's that your emotional capacity is lower in this season. And so you get more snap with each other. You have less fun sometimes together. What happens in the body during these middle years that we can pay attention to help ourselves move forward?
It's going to be individual But have a think of it. Like, check in with your body. If you're going through this now, or if you think of the time when, that was a really hard year we had last year or something. Think of a normal day and think of, there was something that was residual in my body. Is it shoulder tension, that I'm holding the weight of all of this in my shoulders? Is it that, no deep breath, that tight chest, something in there? Could be that you're just a lower energy, that generally you're acting out of this sort of lower energy. Yeah. Remember, your body is under a load. If you can't see the physical load, emotionally, there's psychologically, there is a manifestation in your body for what you're going through.
Yeah.
Sleep disturbances. So this could be less sleep. This could be waking up early in the morning and never getting back to sleep, or that it's harder to get to sleep, or that just your sleep isn't as deep. You're not as rested in the morning. That would all be a normal manifestation of this time, because it's layers upon layers upon layers of things you're dealing with. Remember, you're being hit with new things to deal with, and these could be little mini traumas, if you like, or little mini burdens that are just mount up and mount up and mount up, and everything might just be less joy, and you might be more irritable. You can just be this emotional flatness, to be, where's Andrew gone? He's just this. I say this thing to him, he normally sparks up and gets excited and joins with me, but he's just and
do you know what I've noticed in you? Like, I've noticed your capacity, because I'm a talker, and if you're listening to this, I'm a verbal processor, so I'm speaking to work things out, and Andrew thinks internally, and he needs me to be quiet and let him form his thoughts in his head before he shares. And that's something we know about each other and give space to. But I have noticed, because I actually have NLP training, when Andrew's unable to contain capacity-wise, listening to me talk about things that maybe aren't that important. I'm just that's just me. And I recognize, hey, Lara, you're a talker. Sometimes you might need to find a friend to talk to instead of Andrew, because his capacity right now is less. I can see when he glazes over or whatever, and I know he loves me. So I know you do. And it's got nothing to do with not love. It's just capacity. That you have so much going on in your life other than just me. You are a dad, you have a job, you are traveling, your life is so, so full. And I think you need to give each other that space and grace and not always take it personally. That's just real, and I want to be real about that. And I'm not at all offended.
Yeah, and these are giving you tools so that we can function as strong, healthy individuals in a marriage, but we know how to get what we need and get the love we need from each other and give the love that she needs. So there's this sense of am I growing as a human, as an individual?
Yeah.
Or have I melded into this us thing and I'm losing out and I'm just draining on her without really knowing it, type thing.
Yeah, the awareness is good. And the reason that I don't take offense to that is because it happens to me with my kids. I might be in my thoughts or having an idea or whatever, and mums, and not just mums, dads also, but we can be interrupted numerous times a day within our thoughts, and that's got a toll on you, because sometimes you just want to be in your own thoughts, and sometimes you just don't have the capacity to continue to give others what they need. And so we're looking at that capacity thing in this episode, because your capacity is just absolutely maxed.
When your nervous system is stretched, or when it's really loaded and burdened, connection can feel just like another task to do.
I don't have time to have fun with you. I don't have time to sit there and listen to your feelings. I don't have the bandwidth to have a conversation tonight. I can't do this again, babe. That's what it's like.
That's what it's sometimes. Yeah. And so the better thing is just to find some way, and it's not to do the whole thing, and it's maybe given the idea, I really want to dig into this, but I really need some time. Can we do it tomorrow? But right now, let's do something. What's some practical things?
Some quick tools. A touch point that you can go, okay, we got really low capacity right now. Let's just own it.
Look at that.
Starters.
I just touched a hand. Touch point.
Little touch point. What feels heavy for you this week, and what feels hopeful for you this week?
Okay.
It is a really unusual question, but it's such a good touch point that you can put into every week. What feels heavy for you this week, babe? And what feels hopeful? Just answer that real quick for me, if you wouldn't mind. What feels heavy for you this week?
Feels heavy is the mounting to-do list. and the goals we're trying to reach and the charity we're building and the sense of getting some strategy around that, that's heavy. That feels difficult. And out of our normal skill set, mine's my normal skill set. But what feels hopeful is that I'm getting ideas already. But I don't think of what's hopeful. So that's a really good question.
It is a good question. For me, what felt heavy and has felt heavy this week has been Andrew traveling and solo parenting. For obvious reasons. It's a lot on my own during the morning, afternoon school runs, all the dinners, the meal preps, everything, on top of working full time. And that's just been a lot. But what feels hopeful is the future. It feels just hopeful. I love that we're building a life together that we're happy and we enjoy, and that brings a smile to my face. So we were just giving you a quick, truthful example of what a touch point does and what a beautiful question to ask. What feels heavy? What feels hopeful? And this gives structure to emotional attunement. It actually just helps you tune into each other. So these questions are really powerful.
Yeah. Another tool is one small change rule. So it's choose one tiny shift.
Yeah.
So it could be the way you greet each other when you come in the house. It could be the tone you have. That you could just intentionally change the tone. I could be running in my day and rolling into this stressed or anxious or catastrophizing type sort of place.
Yeah.
But I could choose just to be, hey, I just want to leave all that and just be so appreciative, or I just want to, could be a 6-second kiss, it could be these things. And why this is good, this could just create momentum within this overwhelm. Again, it's not denying what's going on, and it's not, obviously, we're not going to achieve the to-do list or the things that are bugging us, but it creates momentum within a connection.
Yeah, small steps do create momentum, and that's why science says to break down those big tasks into little steps. So as an example for our listeners, what's one little shift we can make this week that is like a micro change? Maybe I would love to try when you get home that we cuddle for 6 seconds at least.
Give it 10.
10-second hug when you get home, no matter how overwhelming it is, whatever's hitting the fan, whether dinner's cooked or not, we just have a connection hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we already do that? Not always. Sometimes Andrew comes in and goes straight to serving up dinner because he's very help orientated. What does she need? And I'm like, yeah, I do need that actually, but we could do the physical connection first.
Yeah. And it's interesting how your kids will see it. So they'll see that's modeling to them how you've chosen to lead
We're teaching them that is first, that's primary. And so even though we have a healthy marriage and we've been together together for 23 years, but married for nearly 20, we're still wanting to improve these little things that were natural maybe at the beginning, but we're in the middle years. The third little tool we want to leave with you before we wrap up this episode is a shared meaning ritual. This is so beautiful. It's just a weekly symbolic moment, a walk, a coffee, a prayer, or a breath together. The reason that this is important is that rituals anchor connection during chaos. So what that means is that when you have chaotic world going around you, but you have this little ritual, it just anchors you down into a calm place of connection. It's just a tiny little thing that you can decide, let's just do that this week. For us, that anchor could be that you hug. No matter how chaotic or crazy it is this week, that we have that hugs and we mean it. We're actually going to do that. That's really important. The middle years don't have to drift you apart. Even if you feel like they are right now, you can start to drift back together. The current can change. They can deepen closeness if you stay intentional. And these things we're giving you are intentional things. So the reflection to take away with you this week is, what's one small shift that you could make this week to feel closer right now to each other? If you think you're going to forget, tell them about our BMH Marriage Reset that you can do in 3 minutes.
So you can download our free BMH Body, Mind, Heart Shift on our website, andrewandlara.com. That is an easy way to start to put it into practice and start to do this regularly, even if it's every second day or however much you want to do it. But if you can grab those moments and start to do these quick shifts.
Share this with a friend or your spouse, this episode, because we're only up to a handful of episodes now. So we would love to get the word around. We're here to help you guys to restore marriages. This is part of Creative Restoration International, which is the department we direct of a not-for-profit. And follow or subscribe. If you are on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on an audio platform, follow along so you don't miss an episode. They come out Wednesday mornings every single week. If the end of year is feeling heavy for you, if things are just feeling stressful and overwhelming, these tools will keep you steady. Head to andrewandlara.com, download our free guide, put it on your fridge, and maybe make that your choice this week to anchor you in the storm of what the middle years can be. And we will see you next week.
See you soon.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on today's Marriage, Intimacy and Healing. If this episode supported you, we'd love for you to download our free 3-minute BMH Marriage Reset at andrewandlara.com. It's the quickest way to shift out of stress and back into connection. And for deeper support and to explore our resources and coaching, you can find everything at andrewandlara.com.
Before you go, following the show or sharing this episode with another couple really helps more people find this kind of support. And we're so grateful when you do.
We're Andrew and Lara, and we'll see you next week.